when I was about 18, I used to play with Johnny Taylor. He was an R&B singer. He had a bunch of big hits in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Who's Making Love to Your Old Lady, Disco Lady.
Look, I told you I'm a country boy.
Yeah.
I'm near Memphis, so you know I know who Johnny Taylor is.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the first gig I did with Johnny Taylor was in Memphis at a place called Club Paradise.
Okay.
It was right across the street from some projects. It was a surreal experience, to say the least. But this is when I joined that band, and I remember like it was yesterday when I got on the bus. And there was a man. It was an old school, like Trailways bus. There was a tour bus though. It was old school, and there was a man. You know, when you walk up the, say like you getting on the bus and you walk up the steps, and that's the driver's seat there, and then there's like a little barrier right here. There was a man leaning over that barrier, just kind of leaning over like this, with giant rings, every finger, all 8. I mean, they were huge, and they had a curl. And I remember I looked up. And I said to myself, man, who is this country ass mom? So man, I just go sit back, and a friend of mine got me on the gig. So we're just sitting on the back talking, we still waiting to leave. And then so the guy walks back to the back of the bus, and he looks, and he just stands there, and he looks at me, and he says, he said, all right, who's gonna vouch for this man right here? And then I looked at my boy. I'm fresh out of East St. Louis. I was like, man, ain't nobody got to vouch for me. This is all the stuff coming up in my head. And he put his arm on me. He's like, I vouch for him, Johnny. I didn't really understand how important being vouched for was to those kind of people. Yeah. Those musicians, they can only have people around them that they feel like they can trust and be around, because first of all, I didn't know that was Johnny Taylor. Mm-hmm. And I didn't understand the stuff that he had been through. All I knew was, I was playing with Johnny Taylor. I was making $100 a gig, and I didn't get my hotel paid for. He ain't pay no food. We might do 2 gigs in 3 weeks, and I'm sitting on the bus, dirty, hungry. Mm-hmm. But for something deep down inside me, I always knew that that's what I was supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. As horrible as it was, and there were horrible times, I knew that's what I should be doing. And I remember, and I hope anybody that's related to Johnny see this and don't be upset, but I'm sure they know what kind of person Johnny was. He could be a horrible dude, and man, I seen him do stuff that I just couldn't understand. And I remember when I told my grandmother. I'm in college. Mm-hmm. I'm a freshman in college, and I told my grandmother, I was like, Grandma, I'm going on the road with Johnny Taylor. She was like, no, you're not. There's no way. No. But as much as I love my grandmother and respect her word, something about I knew that this is what I wanted to do for my life took precedence over that. So I went anyway. So I saw him do a lot of things, and I remember distinctly one day we were all gathered on the bus, and Johnny, he had a habit of coming on the bus after the gig and be like, all right, fellas, we ain't do as good as I thought we was gonna do today, so I'm gonna have to short y'all. Keep in mind, I wasn't making no money. I ain't had no money anyway. Yeah. But one night he gets on the bus and he says, y'all wanna know why I treat y'all so bad? and I'm like, I'm wide open. I'm like, know. Yes, I really want to know what this. So man, he goes into this diatribe, man, about when he sang background for Sam Cooke, which I had no idea that he even did.
I didn't know.
And he talked about how horrible a person Sam Cooke used to be to him, and all of the stuff that he had to go through after he was big time Johnny Taylor in the disco era, and then after all of that came crashing down, and then all the stuff when he was a kid coming up, and then that made me think, like, it's a pattern that should be broken. Don't get me wrong, because they do it now in R&B. I play with R&B artists now where that same system of effing over people is still permeated, because they think
in a lot of genres.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But they think that's how it's supposed to be done. They think everybody's supposed to mess over somebody because somebody got messed over. Until you break that cycle, it's never gonna. But it got me to thinking. It's like, I'm playing with Johnny. Johnny played with Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke had to sing with somebody who sang with somebody who sang with somebody. Now I'm part of this lineage, and I really have to appreciate that and accept my role for people that's played with me now.